Welcome back. This is Affinity League 27 Match 3, and we are on the draw. We are currently 1-1, having won against Black-White Obsidat in the first round, and lost to Jund, round 2. This hand has some acceleration, some Ornithopters, Ravager. Yeah, looks pretty decent. I don't have a terribly good top end, but I guess Ravager plus stuff seems pretty good. And I can definitely cast a lot of things in my hand, which is usually a good sign. I think it'd be an easy choice to remove Ravager from my hand. Yeah. Especially with the redundancy of Ornithopters and drums. Ravager's a pretty decent threat to remove. That is a gorgeous watery grave. Though I could see Galvanic Blast if they have any threats they don't want me to kill. From here, I would really like to see Cranial Plating. Maybe Etch Champion. Cranial Plating will do. I won't be able to cast it quite yet. But hopefully it's not ripped from my hand and I can cast it next turn. So I could, next turn, if I don't draw a mana source, play and equip it, which taps me out. That's probably not a good idea. Probably just play it and leave up Galvanic Blast. Unless I end up using it right now. Okay. Well, I can't use it right now. Another drum. Goodness gracious. I guess that makes plating even better. So I definitely want to play the plating. If I equip it, then it leaves me completely open, but I think this Ornithopter represents better damage than defense. I'm at 20 as well, so that's always good. Alternatively, I could play Drum, which gives me yet another artifact next turn. How important is it for me to hold up Blast, really, is the question here. I'm thinking it's not. So I either want to equip Blading or play the Drum. I'm going to go with equip Plating. And pass the turn. Things to worry about from here would be Fatal Push, some other form of instant speed removal for the Ornithopter that's equipped. I think I'm still alright though. And they're continuing to pay life, which I am A-okay with. So blue, black, green Tarmogoyf deck. What's that, Simic? I'm not very good with names of the color combinations. Brought in Water Grave untapped, so whatever they want is potentially... yes, well... Yep, that was something I was worried about, for sure. Okay, Nexus is helpful. I'm gonna go ahead and still go in on the Ornithopter. Tap a Blink Moth. play drum, and if they don't have a fatal push, get in for 5. If they do, then I lose Ornithopter. They're down to 1 card in hand. Yeah, there's the fatal push that I expected. Okay, so then things are starting to look a little more dicey. I no longer have a good way of casting Galvanic Blast. So I maybe should have just hit him with it earlier. I can activate Blink Moth, and that's it. Good grief. Deck, you are murdering me. All I can do right now is activate Blink Moth Nexus and attack with it for 1. What good is a cranial plating? The answer is nil. Why you do this to me? I guess at this point I have to go on the defensive then. Ugh. Because that feels good. Not. Oh boy. This is almost as bad as the Jund matchup. Just as far as them destroying my creatures and stuff goes. So at this point I'm kind of incentivized to block with Ink Moth to reduce the size of Tarmogoyf. Ugh, it hurts so bad though. I guess I'll take the opportunity to use Galvanic Blast on face. Oh, I'm not even gonna get to block with it, am I? Snapcaster Mage. Yes, and you are going to Fatal Push, targeting Inkmoth Nexus. And I'm gonna have to now Galvanic Blast the Snapcaster. To reduce the number of attackers they have, and I'm still gonna lose Nexus, and I'm still gonna take 5. Oh boy, let me tell you, having so many Springleaf Drums actually hurt quite a bit after losing Ornithopter. Both of them. Opponent's not really... I have 1 mana, effectively. Woof. Not so good. Cycle Street Wraith, huh? Interesting time to do it. Yep. Alright, well, that was fun. Not so much. Okay, so Blood Moon will definitely lock him out. All this stuff, plus Rest in Peace to lock him on a Snapcaster. It's essentially the same board in, board out as Jund matchup, surprisingly enough. Though they're not going to have K command, so Master of Ethereum might be a little bit better. Galvanic Blast didn't feel very good. Memnites don't feel very good. And then a Ravager, an Overseer, and a Vault Scourge like last time. With them having... blue, that's what, counter spells and bounce spells, something like that. I'm gonna put the Memnite back in and shave a Galvanic Blast so that I can still have a chance at some faster early game. Yes, the Galvanic Blast is a better top deck in some ways. Yeah, fine. Convince myself keeping 1 in is better. Is it though? Being on the play? Do I want a slightly faster? I suppose if I'm arguing about faster, I could go down, say, an Overseer for a Memnite. Because Overseer's slow. Yeah, that seems fine. Yes, I'll take the play, thank you. Well... If they don't have anything, I can go in all in on the Nexus with the Ravager. Sure. Give that the old college try. I could have Ravager down turn 1. Then they could kill it turn 1, but we'll give it a shot. I'm gonna dump out Ravager, and if it needs to go on an if the counter needs to go on an Ornithopter, then so be it. If they have the turn 1 fatal push for it. I think it's still worth it. Because if I keep it in hand, then it could be taken to a Thoughtseize or an Inquisition. And if they don't have an answer for it, then Nexus becomes a bit more deadly. Provided they give me the right opening. Pardon me. So let's dump out these guys. Alrighty. If I draw Rest in Peace, Ravager becomes a lot more sad. Undergrave untapped means they're probably killing Ravager. Or they're thought seizing. Okay. That's fine by me, opponent. I actually want a plating. Oh, Karn. That's pretty good. I can do something with that next turn. I don't think I want to go in on this Nexus quite yet. So I'm going to play a Nexus. Going to activate it. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but that also represents losing mana. So I'm just going to instead go a little more conservative and hit for damage and poison. Next turn, I'll go for the Karn, which will help me survive long game, I think. Or it'll make it a lot shorter if I get a token that survives and attacks. So. If they don't have another Thoughtseize, then I'm feeling a lot better, because then Karn will come out. If they do have Thoughtseize, well, then Karn doesn't come out, and there's not squat I can do about that now, is there? No. Definitely not. Yeah, this is a scenario where my sideboard cards, 2 of them, actually make my position much, much worse. Those 2 being Rest in Peace or Blood Moon. Blood Moon shuts off my Inkmoth Nexi, and Rest in Peace shuts off Ravager. It's kind of funny. So they left themselves exposed again, but I don't think I'm willing to go in on the Nexus yet, because if I do, then again, it's sure I hit them for some poison, but then I'm probably just losing it to a fatal push or something the following turn. And in this instance, I'm going to make a token, because the token is going to be large and be able to block Tarmogoyf. Next turn, I will have a debate between token and getting a card. I'm going to go ahead and eat the opal here to make Ravager a little bit bigger, and then play this opal. That way I have mana to dump onto Nexus if there's some sort of board sweeping shenanigans that go on. I can't immediately think of anything except Flaying Tendrils, I think, is 3 mana. Not quite sure why opponent is waiting right here. Unless they have some sort of Phyrexian spell, there's nothing they can do about that. Same here. Okay. Alright, opponent. Oh, did I make... Yeah, I did make Tarmogoyf bigger. That was a mistake. And it'll get even bigger if... Yeah. Put in a sorcery. Well, what you gonna do? Yeah, that's what I thought. So it looks like that construct will be able to get in. Ooh. Oh, but that makes Ravager... I don't think Ravager's my out here. So I think playing this Rest in Peace is pretty darn good. Do I do it? If I do it before combat, then Tarmogoyf becomes tiny. Yeah, that sounds good. And since I don't have a different colored spell to do for this, we're going to do Rest in Peace now to shrink Tarmogoyf, which means Ravager can get in as well. Let's see, what else? Oh, wow, they're just going to scoop to that. They must have only had Tarmogoyfs or something in hand. Alright. I'm a fan of that. So... Ravager was just so iffy there. But is it better to have Overseer? Is it better to have Galvanic Blast? Overseer, probably not. Ravager at least puts his counter somewhere. Yeah, I'm gonna just run it back. Hope for some more shenanigans. Let's see. Ramp, Thoughtseize, jeez. Yeah, sure. Edge Champion's a bit on the horizon, but, well, if they're playing a turn 1 island, are they gonna counter something, maybe? Ooh, another land. I like the look of that. So let's play the Blinky. Play Springleaf. Ornithopter. Oh, yeah. Get in on the Thoughtseize right now. They might have a counter for this, but then I guess I'm getting rid of a counter. Alright. Collective Brutality, Ceremonious Rejection. Might have to do that one. Golgari Charm, all creatures get -1/-1. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Let's see, so next turn I could be playing as champion, so I want to get rid of Rejection. As long as they don't kill Ornithopter, which they might with Brutality, then I will have an Edge Champion. And that Edge Champion will be protected from targeted spells. Alternatively, I could Thoughtseize again and rip out Golgari Charm, maybe? But here comes Collective Brutality. Which they might use to kill Ornithopter. And if they do, well, I'm sad, yes, but... they'll be expending several cards. Yeah. Ooh. Yep. There goes my Thoughtseize and Ornithopter. Most unfortunate. Oh, but there's a replacement. Alright, well. Well then. Don't mind if I do. Yeah, and this is worth it because I have 3 artifacts. And they'll have to have 2 kill spells to kill it next turn. Which they'll have... so there goes Misty Rainforest. What do I want now? I would like a plating. Plating would be lovely. Golgari Charm they're going to keep until I try to play Rest in Peace, which makes sense. One of my 2 different answers, well, 2 of my 4 answers are now in the grave, being the Thoughtseizes. Okay. Blinkmoth Nexus. Just gonna get in with Champion right now. And then Signal Pest is still good. Increases my clock by 2 points a turn. For now, if I don't attack with the Blink Moths. Gotta keep this Golgari Charm in mind, though. Which means I don't want to double attack with the next eye. I definitely gotta leave up pumping activations for them. Charm and 2 others. So yeah, definitely gonna play that. So that I have that extra mana without having to tap a creature. Then I'm gonna go to combat. Get a Nexus. And go to attacks. And I'm not gonna pump. Unless I absolutely have to. Because I gotta save it for the charm. So I definitely don't want them to do it in response. And it's not worth that extra point to me. So this will kill Signal Pest, but it also used up the Golgari Charm. They might have another one. Not even sure if I would cast Rest in Peace right now. Unless I play a Tarmogoyf. Not that I have a Rest in Peace in my hand at the moment anyway. But were I to draw it, I might not cast it right away. Alright. So now they have 2 cards in hand. Ooh, Blood Moon. That doesn't really lock them out. And it wouldn't. because they could just fetch for a green source, and then I would just be losing out. So, let's go to combat. And I think I have to leave champion back on defense, which means it's the blink moths that are getting in, provided they don't have kill spells. So we'll go to combat. Activate the blink moth. And just get in with it. For 2, which is not terrible, but not great. Them fetching increases my clock by a turn. I could even go so far as to attack with Blink Moth and Edge Champion and have a 2-turn clock, provided they don't kill the Blink Moth. I can probably afford to push like that. Ugh. My draws have been not so good. Pump it up. If they have a kill spell, they probably kill it here. Yeah. Which means it would have been better to be attacking with both of them instead of doing the pump. I was playing around another Golgari charm-ish. But, yeah, that is unfortunate. I don't think I quite need to play that Spire yet. The 1 mana is only enough to, well, yeah, I'll play it. Makes them think I have 2 colored mana open. So now Champ might have to go back on the defensive again. Granted, 3 turns versus... Am I slightly ahead? I hit him down to 4. So they're hitting me for down to 13. Yeah, I don't block with Ornithopter yet because I want to keep it around to inherently protect Edge Champion. If I attack with Blink Moth and Champion, I still have a 2-turn clock. Tombstalker. Huh. Interesting. Well, this just became a lot crappier. I can't attack with, Blink Moth or Ink Moth. Not that I would have attacked with Ink Moth. But... this means I have to attack with Champion and Champion alone. Which is okay. I still have... I can block Tombstalker with probably Ink Moth. Yeah, this is gonna be tight. That isn't... I have never seen this before. 5/5 Flying Delve. Abrupt Decay on Ornithopter. I'll tap it for a mana. Guess I'll activate the Ink Moth with it. And I'll just block two. It doesn't, I guess it doesn't really matter which one I block. I have to survive 2 more hits. Is there a point in animating this blink moth? I don't think so. So I'll just block here, since I have more guys that can... Oh. Interesting. Well, since I animated it, I think I might as well block it. Just shrink it. Or do I take the 5? I'd go to 8. No, I'll just go ahead and block. Since opponent was kind enough to represent me, or to give me a block like that. Come on, plating off the top. It's not a plating off the top. Well, gonna get in with champion. See what I can do. See if I can survive the next turn. On the current board state, I can take the 9 and go to 4. And not have a problem. So, unless they have a way to force me to get rid of this champion, I should be golden. Sweet. That was a lot closer than I anticipated that being. That was a good matchup. That was a good match. Alright. Well, thanks for watching. That puts us at 2-1. I'll see you in the next match.